What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream where we're back in our Gas Cores project. A game built from scratch, of course, using Unreal Engine 5, C++ blueprints, gameplay ability system plugin, and all of that good stuff. So, today, I kind of wanted to work on actually making these cards on the bottom of the screen actually do stuff. Like, right now, it's still with the left and right D-pad, and then I would imagine, up being what selects the card, and then it activates whatever is associated with that card. So I want to try to set that up. I'm still not 100% convinced on like the UI of it all. Like, I'm thinking maybe the card selection should be like on the right hand side of the screen. Yeah, you can't really see much on the UI, so I'm gonna put myself up top here so you can see the like ability bar and stuff here on the right hand side. So I'm thinking like around there, maybe that's where the card should be, and maybe it should show you only like 3 of the 5 cards, and as you're like kind of toggling through them, it like kind of rotates them out, so it takes up as minimal on the screen as possible. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, that's gonna be what we're gonna work on a little bit. Not the UI part of it, but actually having these cards do something. So, and kind of connecting it to the deck. So, I guess we can also make a couple of cards if we find the time. We're only gonna stream for like maybe an hour 20 or something like that. So it all starts with our deck. Is it called Manager? Deck Manager? I don't know. I forget. Do I find my player state? Yeah, Deck Manager. But there's no C++ version of this class, or sorry, blueprint version of this class. So that's why I can't really find it. I don't know if I should make a blueprint version of the class. But for now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take away this auto start kind of thing, right? And I'm only gonna give myself, I have, I think, a few sets of cards. So there's test card and test card active ability. So let's just do those 2 for now as an example. Now there should be like a card UI stuff. So current hand, and then the card template. So current hand, we're gonna need, and we also need like a quote unquote deck. Maybe that could be like on the left side of the screen. I would need to do some potential mock-ups, but yeah, like I don't know, like I feel like the cards right now, they take up way too much of the screen. Very little gain, I think. So I just realized I slowed down time. I was like, why is my character moving so slow? So I'm gonna have to see why. Or I should say, I gotta see how I want to set this up, honestly. For now, we're just gonna kind of assume we don't show the deck. We're gonna show the deck at some point, but I just don't know what that UX is gonna be. And we have everything kind of put in here in this way. So I feel like maybe we should be not using debug keys and stuff, and actually updating our IMCs. So let's do IMC underscore. We'll just do gamepad at the moment. So we're gonna need IA. So we're gonna say IA underscore select card left, select card right, and then select, or I'll say activate current card or activate card. Might be the best thing. And so, yeah, for gamepad, I'm not 100% sure what this will be just yet, but we'll add the input mapping context. So select card left, select card right, and then activate card. So select card left is going to be left D-pad for now. Select card right is going to be right D-pad. And then activate card is going to be up on the D-pad. Now, I don't think there should be any enhanced input calls within this actual widget blueprint. But for now, let's just put it in. So select card left. Oh, no, this one's left. This one's select card right. And I also have to give these triggers. So I'm gonna say down. What I want to try to do is have it so as it's down, you know, kind of slowly iterate over all the cards. Maybe have some delay in between them. So let's try that. So untriggered there, and then I want to say, you know, ongoing. Or not retriggerable delay, but just delay. I'm curious if ongoing will give me what I want to do. So D-pad right. Yeah, so it's definitely giving me some strange order here. So yeah, I guess it's I guess I should do, no, I should just maybe started, because as it's down, I'm getting the event over and over and over again. Yeah. So, but I can't tell. I guess I don't know if ongoing is getting constantly called or not. So let me print it out just to see. Yeah, ongoing never seems to happen. So I guess I should do it on triggered. So we got something like that. But there is an issue with the release. So probably uncanceled or completed. There should be like a gate, right? So start there. Yes, start closed, then enter, and then maybe something to that effect. Yeah, that seems okay. Oh, I broke something. Hey man, how are you? Was hoping to get your feedback today on a design problem I have. Would that be fine? Sure, we can talk about it if you're willing to share. Can't guarantee too much what I can do while I'm, you know, doing streaming at the same time, but I'll try my best. It's no problem. Yeah, so basically, so for whatever reason, let me open up my widget on one screen here. Let's look at what it's doing. So triggered, completed. Oh, I'm doing completed to toggled. I should just go to closed. Hopefully that's it. Yeah, I mean, maybe be faster. Maybe 1.5. Thank you, no worries. It's a theory question. You won't have to do anything in engine. Well, I mean, you know, doing stuff on the project and talking at the same time is difficult, so hopefully I don't stumble over my words. Okay, so now I'm stuck. So let me look at what's happening. Okay, so it opens, but yeah, never. How does this work the first time? It never worked. Oh wait, no. Yeah, it never worked. Okay. Oh, huge paragraph. Okay. I want to be able to react to tags being added or removed, and I don't want to be pulling and having them hold the state to understand if a change occurred. I also don't want to add a new delegate each time I want to react to a new gameplay tag change. So I thought about creating a world system through which you apply the tags, and it broadcasts each time a tag was added, removed, and for whom. So UI and such close to it. Is that a good approach? I mean, are you using the gameplay ability system plugin? Because they already have these tasks, right? Wait, gameplay tag, add to actor, and wait, gameplay tag, remove. Like, these already exist? Is that more or less what you're kind of looking for? And they also have wait, gameplay tag, count change, and wait, gameplay tag, query. What they do in a nutshell. So you pass in an actor, you tell it what tag to listen for, and so anytime that this actor is given this gameplay tag, it will execute this pin. Same with this one, but for when it's removed. And then this one would be called whenever the count of that tag changes. And then this one will do it with root expressions for gameplay tag containers. So it seems like, I think, what you're asking, no? Hopefully those would do the trick for you. All right, yeah, let me know. Let me know if that works for you. Yeah, this selection stuff is not working like I was hoping it would. Maybe I don't need a gate. No, I do need a gate because I wanted to tell it to stop. Because yeah, the problem is if I just do it like this, for example. Yes, I can. I was also pressing the wrong button, right? But no, that's fine. Yeah, it's also I'm getting a float value. Maybe I need to be changing that as well. So card Oh, you working with right now? Card, select right. We have down. So by default, it's axle 1. Well, because I copied or I made a duplicate of that, so that's why. So we definitely want it to be a pool. So I'm going to do this, and then maybe pass this through like the branch this way. No, not false. So let's try again. Right. Yeah, I'm getting hit twice. Yeah, so now it goes once, but I don't really want it to go by once. So maybe this is what I want. Excuse me. Let's see. Yes. I feel like stop. Eh, maybe it's too sensitive. Maybe 0.2 is what we need. Bless you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, 0.2 seconds I think will be fine, and I guess we could do the same thing over here. So now we should have decent kind of controls. Yep, so now we're selecting cards. Feels like it goes over by just one though. I feel like I should be able to use like gating in some way. I just don't know if that's gonna work. Worked like a charm. This was exactly what I've been looking for. Thank you, man. I'm intrigued to have a look at the node implementation now, though. Don't understand how it works. Yeah, like, I mean, we can look at it together. Wait, gameplay tag, add to actor, because I believe the gameplay ability system simply just has a delegate in C++. So wait, gameplay tag, add actor. So it really just listens for this. So register gameplay tag event. So this one. That's all it's really doing. The other ones might be doing stuff slightly different, but let me see if this feels any good. Yeah, so it started. Maybe started needs to do all things, so That feels good. That back. Boom. Okay, we have our card selection feeling a little bit better. Honestly, still not too much of a fan of what it's doing, but still. What we need to do now, and maybe this is where we would eventually need to create like what is it called? Second, what are they called? A view model. Probably would have to make a view model for like these cards for the card data and everything like that. But we can add it to our to-do list for later. So let's also make sure our activate card is a Boolean. And instead of doing a brute force here, what we can do is get owning player. So like get player state. Cast 2, cast course, player state, deck, manager component, deck, deck. For the MVVM, will you be using the view model plugin? Yeah, I currently use the view model plugin for the health bar. I think it's just for the player, but maybe also the enemy health bar. It uses a view model. So yeah, health, VM health, and then the health component is responsible for updating the view model. So here I'm listening for the attribute changes for current health, and then I make the calls to set current health and max health for the view model, all through this kind of component. So I'd imagine we'd have to do something fairly similar, except it would just be like the card data. Every time you switch cards or you draw a new card, we get the view model format and update it accordingly. And something else I want to update is with my input buffer when it comes to like dodges and stuff like that. About with attacks as well. Something that I need, where, for example, say you can't really see my gamepad on screen. I don't really have a proper debugging for it. Yeah, setting up a MVVM is a bit of a nightmare, for sure. Especially when I was trying to get it to work for multiplayer, that was a pain in the ass. So I'm glad I'm no longer doing that. It was just about really replicating whatever I needed to be replicated. But what I want to do for the input buffering is, for example, like I dodge and then I dodge left, right? But if I dodge forward and then buffer my dodge left, the vector onto the stick is not buffered along with the dodge input. And so like I dodge back, which may not always be the intention. So what we would need to do is when we buffer, I'll say like with every single input action, I want it to, every time we buffer, take a snapshot of the left stick and store it in the input buffer component for like, I don't know, half a second or maybe more or something. I guess it doesn't need to have a timer, honestly, but maybe it does have. But then use that as part of our calculations for knowing which direction we're moving, or intending to move. I think that'll add to our general feeling. But that could be for some time later. If it's a nightmare, is the MVVM worth then? I'm registering to the health attribute, changing via code, and then updating the health. Is it worth to later have a look at your code base and try to use the view model plugin as well? I mean, it's ultimately your call. The benefit of a view model, which, you know, if you do stuff within a health component, possibly it's not that big of a deal because it's in one place. But, you know, for example, you would use a view model to just basically have one place where you store specific data, and then you can read and write that data. So if you needed to, you know, display stats in multiple different places, you can use a view model to like kind of call the same data without having to recreate the same listeners all over the place. So if you think that would be useful for your game, I would say it's worth it. But for like quick prototypes and stuff like that, I'm not sure. All right, so let's construct our cards based on how many cards we have in our active deck. So for each, obviously we would need to do, maybe actually we would still loop like 5, for example. Yeah, I have a health component wrapping the attribute exactly. So it's a single source of truth for me. Thanks, I'll reconsider it. I mean, it's always worth a look at it and see what's there. I'm gonna be right back, guys. I need to get some water. All right, your boy's back. But yeah, with the number of cards that you can have in your hand and possibly even your deck, those probably could be in an attribute set. So it might be worthwhile to create one. Let's do it the way people taught me. You can do it within Writer. Attribute sets, add Unreal class. So it's going to be a type. What's the base class called? Yeah, just gas course attribute set. Oh, okay, pros. Okay, gas course attribute set. We're going to call this GAC underscore. I don't know, should I call it like deck attribute set? And we'll just have things about the hand as well in there. So let's add that. Definitely don't need core minimal. Oh no, what did I do? What have I done? Go. Let's close tabs. Let's just open up. Oh, yeah, the deck attribute set needs to also go in the right directory here. Can I move that? Yeah. This, I have to go what game underscore gameplay ability system attribute sets deck. There you go. Now that, and let's go to our health ones. Let's just copy as much. We don't need to get the life replicated props. This is no longer multiplayer. We don't have to do any kind of replication anymore. These are all public, right? We also have a constructor. That, and then let's just grab a couple here. I think these aren't private, right? So we're gonna do character deck attributes. We're not doing any kind of replicated using care. Should we write attribute set? We're gonna call this max hand size. I don't know, that's gonna be the best thing because yeah, hands are hands, but like card hands. We'll say max hand size or count. I don't know if we really need to track current hand count. We can copy this. Do max deck count. Okay. Now I think we can generate all this code, definitions, all of them. Fine. Anything in the constructor worthwhile? There's clamping and stuff. We don't have to worry about constructing anything at the moment, but let's have our AI generate everything for us with the comment. Okay. Cool. So now let's just go back, go to our current hand, and then we could say we could, in theory, I guess say get owning their pawn, get attribute value. We're gonna have to do a full recompile so that we see it. Let's do that. So once we have the attribute set, we'll have to go into our character emitter, make sure we give them some value. We'll give it a value of like 3 cards by default just to have a smaller range of options. So fingers crossed that everything compiles. Man, the sun is in a very inconvenient location. You know, we love the sun. The sun's great. Just burns my retinas, and I'm sure I'm not very good to look at with the flares, or yeah, flares. I hope people had a good week this week. We're coming up on Friday tomorrow. Hope people have good plans for the weekend. I also managed to put together Unreal GameSync and Perforce and everything. I haven't really updated the actual GitHub repository just because, like, I don't know if I know I need to, but now because I'm trying to share the project with some other developers to work on it, I need to give them access to the content stuff, like the assets that I paid for off the marketplace and stuff, and I know I can't share that on GitHub publicly, so I'm trying to find a balance of like what I need to make sure it gets on GitHub. It's just like the code and stuff, but it's tricky. I'll have to figure out how I can balance that, honestly. In like either one repo, or if I have to like have two repos, one's just the code and one's the code and the content. Make sure I update them all the time. So let's go to our init, right? Init. So we can do GE underscore deck attribute initter. So we got our modifiers here. We're only gonna do hand count, override 3, then max deck size, override. Let's make it, 20 or something. Probably too much. Is asset size, is it also in GitHub, or is it just copyright issues? Copyright. Primarily copyright. I can't just be uploading new assets of other people's stuff from the marketplace that I bought for other people just to download. Not sure if it, what happens when you do, if it works right out of the box, but I'd rather not get in trouble. And if I can't include those assets, my character blueprints and all these other blueprints, they're kind of null at that point because it doesn't really have any characters involved with them, So we're attacking. We really proud of the melee feel right now. It feels pretty good. Like, these feel like heavy attacks and probably should be labeled as heavy attacks. And I would need to have faster light attacks, like a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't know. I'm just kind of counting. And I was watching a friend of mine's video, Raphael. He was doing a deep dive on what makes combat fun. And he mentioned, and he was talking about God of War. And what God of War does is they kind of direct the enemies with the reactions based on what you're looking in the combat. So that's what I added as well. So like as I'm hitting him, and if I start turning my camera, like the enemy will start being pushed in that direction. I don't know if that's gonna be good in the end, but I thought it would be fun to implement, and it does its job. So like, does it make sense? Probably not. Maybe only heavy attacks do it. Maybe, but that was interesting. I wonder if I can like dodge in the air, yeah, I can. So dodge into the attack, bam. That's pretty cool. I'll have to fix that too. You can kind of dodge out of that special heavy attack. So in that case, the solution I think of is having two GitHubs, like you said, just one private, the code public, and the code can be used as GitHub module, but I haven't played with GitHub submodules, so I don't know. Yeah, I have no clue either. I'm not super good with repository stuff. So I already have a Perforce that's only accessible from from the private network, but I still want code to be accessible to you guys, at the very least code. So I might need to just make a separate GitHub repo that I just update every like month. Just copy paste the source code, and that's it. Hopefully that would be enough, just so you guys have references. But yeah, the whole point is education. So if you don't have a way to learn, then it's not educational. So we have our character, deck, and knitter, but we don't have it yet in our ability set. So let's add that. So granted gameplay effects, so deck. And then we can go into our current hand. We can get hand count or max hand count. We could do a for loop between that, and we could say get. That, and then do is valid. And grab it like this. And yeah, get owning player. How does this system you implemented from God of War work? Sure, I'll show you. So inside of the hit reaction, and this might need to be mapped to like severities of hit reaction, like maybe tiny little flinches don't do it and others do, but no, for now it's neither, it doesn't matter. So I believe it's on hit dummy. Yeah. So let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys. Maybe too big, but so whenever we hit, we get the hit event, right? Before we do the apply root motion with constant force, the pushing back, we pass in a world direction, and the world direction is equal to the instigator, which is the player, the pawn. We get the control rotation, which is the camera. We get the rotation x vector, and then we negate it. So that's what makes them push into that direction of the camera. So, if I go here, they're going to start getting pushed in that way. And they'll slowly make their way over there. Can I interrupt? That's fine. Okay. But yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, no problem, man. So, 1. As for the Git issue, I think you should be able to use Git submodules instead of copy pasting each time. To be frank, I have another solution in mind, but I feel like I'm clogging your chat at this point. So if you rather, I can do a bit of research or return with suggestions next stream. No problem. You can talk as much as you want. You can chat as much as you want. It's all welcome. It's all kosher here, man. I'm here to listen to some ideas. I'll have to, if we think submodules are the way to go, I would have to just kind of do research on the submodules. I'm gonna select the card. You should also do it as valid, just in case. It also should be like, you have to have a minimum amount of cards, probably, because I don't want people going in with no cards. But now, in theory, I should have 2 cards, right? I have 1 card. Why? What does my deck look like? I thought my deck had 2 cards in it. Yeah, it does. So let's put a breakpoint and let's see what happens. So truncate. Okay, so we're getting set hand count. So the pawn is not valid yet, for some reason. Let's put a name here. Ah, that's right. So maybe it's an ordering issue or something. So the other idea was just to go ahead and use perforce, but store all your assets in a specific content folder and have it in the git ignore, and still have the code as a code repository. That way the code still goes to GitHub while the code assets go to perforce. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I'll probably just have to make a custom git ignore and just have it ignore everything except source. Yeah, I could try that for sure. Like everything, like maybe config can be passed in and source can be passed in, but everything within content is not there. Even the blueprints, just so you guys only have access to the code. I think that makes a lot of sense. We could try that. First, I want to see why. Maybe do I have to put like a delay? I hope I don't have to put a delay. Maybe it's like a execution order kind of situation. No. Let's make it 2 seconds just to be sure. 1, 2. Still only getting 1 card, so that tells me something is funky with our deck igniter. So max hand count, we're sitting at the 3. Should be. Can we debug this attribute? So debug attribute, max hand count. I also need to grant that attribute set. Heyo. So that should be the end of that problem. So 1, 2, 3. So we should get. And you know, like, actually, in the end, when we have our cards, should be like animated in pretty nicely instead of just spawning them in like that. But now we have the cards from our deck. So we need a couple things I know in the deck component. So character, player, no, component, deck manager. There's activate card. Let's just go here. So we have active deck. Then we have I'm gonna say deck graveyard. Edit anywhere, blueprint read only. We're gonna say blueprint read write for now. So we have a graveyard that the cards will be added to after using them. And then when you run out of cards in your active deck, it'll be reshuffled back in. I don't know if it should be random or not. But good to have for later. Maybe there could be also like helper functions too within the deck component, where you could say like, you know, how many cards of this kind do you have in your graveyard or in your active deck or something like that. So there could be some nice public functions for that. So maybe we can do that as well. I know I'm getting kind of sidetracked with what I'm working on at the moment. Maybe I could just do it to do. Add helper functions for both graveyard and active decks. We could do things like, you know, so deck count, remaining cards in both active and Graveyard. Oh, gravy yard. Deck count. Count of how many cards of type remaining in both active and graveyard decks. Maybe like add card, so add card from graveyard to hand. Add card from graveyard to active deck. Add card from hand to graveyard. Add card from hand back into active deck. Maybe randomized. Yeah, that's probably a good starting point. But yeah, let's get back into blueprints here. So we added our attributes, all's good. So now we should be able to, we don't need that delay anymore, hopefully. All that's in. We add our 2 cards. We choose select card. Now there needs to be a like activate card, right? So the first issue is that the card template doesn't really have a reference to that card. So we need to have a reference to it. Possibly, like, maybe it's even a, well, it needs to know which one it is. So for now, let's make a custom event, activate card. But we need a, here, the card data asset card. Public, expose on spawn, and then when we activate card, we just double check that it is valid. Who knows? And then we activate card. Can I do a diff real quick? Yeah, should be able to do a diff. Diff against depot. What did I just have? Okay, so I need a reference to the deck manager component first. So just do that on construct. Similarly to what we did up here, we can just do that. On construct. Bam. That. Bam. So we could do that is valid. We should also do a is valid. That you can never be careful. No, you can never be too careful, I should say. And then we could say activate card. So card, pass it in there, and then just do a branch. We can say, print string card activated. Okay. Excuse me. Sorry. Kind of tired today. So we got current hand. Now we just need our enhanced input for activate card. When it's triggered, we have to do a couple things, right? There should probably be some sort of animation to play when we activate the card. So we'll do that in a second. But we should just be able to, similarly to this, more or less, triggered. So select card, we're gonna do activate card, and yeah, selected card index. That, and then what we gotta do is remove the card from our container. So we have card container. We could say, remove card. No, remove child at index. We're gonna say index, and we should store this as a variable here. So we're just gonna grab that. We're gonna say that. We're gonna say that, and then we're gonna call it the. Whoops, no. We're gonna say activated card. And then when it's activated, we're going to remove from parent entirely. That should hopefully be up. I don't remember what remove from child really does. So blah blah blah, slots removed at, on slot removed. I don't know, it says invalidate and everything, so maybe this is not necessary. Maybe this is a redundant call. We'll have to see. So yeah, we do that. We go back to card template. We can verify all that. The next thing I need to do real quick, just make sure all is working. So we're gonna need to make I'm gonna have to clean up what this looks like a little later, I think, but I'll need to add a text here. So can I do, is it like a border? I'm gonna cut that, make a border. I'm gonna paste. Now I need to, again, make the color and opacity be like 0.4 or something. Or just the border. Can I just make this 0? Yeah. Looks fine to me. So card background. We'll need to probably have it as a variable. But for now, let's just add our text. Can I not add text? I think I know the issue. I'm gonna just take that out, make this an overlay, and then paste this. I should be able to add a text to this. Yes. Just for the sake of it being messy. So card name, for example. Variable that, and then we're going to say, card is valid. Again, just be always be certain. Now, can I get like default, like class defaults? Can I get name? So what's in a card, right? In a card is a data asset, right? In that data asset, I have access to a handle with a row name. Right now, do I have access to this row handle in Blueprints? Row handle, yes. Now, can I get, or can I say, evaluate data table? What can I do with the data table? Let's find out. Evaluate curve table row. Does data table row exist? Get data table row names. I guess I could just do this, right? Find forget, bro. That. Now I have to break this as like card data. Yeah. Now I should be able to set this text. Not tooltip. Just the normal set text. Do that. Do that. Do that. Obviously, we're gonna need to do stuff with card types, with icon. I said iconography. But hopefully, we'll see the placeholder names and everything. So we just see text block. So let's go in here and here. Here's our player cards. So we should be seeing like card 1, and card 2, and card 3, for example, right? But we don't. And I know why. So back in our current hand, where we're instantiating these things, we actually have to pass in a card. So we do that. Now, active ability card in card 2. So now, in theory, I could switch it between these two. Obviously, they're not. The card names are not attached to the stuff. I'm going to have to do the read. Excuse me, I'm going to have to redo the animation at some point. But I should be able to hit up on the D-pad, and it should give me my ability, for example, if I select this card, which it does. But it also removes the other card. Now, is it because I triggered twice? So I think maybe for this activate card shouldn't be down, it should just be pressed. So let's go to IMCs. Keyboard, not keyboard, mouse. Things here. Okay, so it actually has no trigger. So let's make sure that it's pressed, just to be sure we only get one event. Let's try it again. Press it once. Yes. So now I have an ability. I could do left trigger B or LBY. I forget which one it's set up to. I know it gets granted. I feel like I'm going to be on crazy pills. Well, let's see. And then if I do the next one, I forget what that one does. But we should make sure that after we remove the card, we can then just call select card. Not the new index. So I use the first card. Now card 2 gets selected. And all is okay. But yeah, forget. Yes. Left triggered X. It's not going into cooldown, which is not cool. I guess I somehow broke that along the way. After it's done, it should go into cooldown. So let's look at what it's doing. So grant ability. So assign slot, it's okay that we have that. Then we have one. So ability, auto commit on active ability. Like, is it because end ability? Oh, maybe because I'm calling end ability. So let's give ourselves a card. Press that. And then yeah, cooldown. Okay. So we got that to work. What is card 2? Damage modifiers, right? So critical chance modifier. So I should be able to then do critical damage when I activate that card. So like 1, 1, and then I select this card, I go boom, and now I have this. Now everything is critical. I'm dealing 2 damage until, yeah, 10 seconds or so. But yeah, now the problem is with our current hand. If we like, so for example, I know you guys can't see it too well, but you know, as I'm switching in between the 2 cards, if I activate the first card, the second card correctly gets selected. But when I select the second card first, the first card isn't selected. So I have to say if it's not valid, I would maybe have to make, can I make like a helper function event or something? So custom force right selection. And then I could just say force right selection. So now I should be able to, when I select part 2, it still doesn't work. No! Do I even get here? It's a good question. I do. So when I do this, I don't even get to that breakpoint. What? Uh-huh. Because yeah, probably this is because this fails, right? Because this is not valid. What would be the best call here? Well, I feel like I wonder if I could just go here instead. Select that card. Yeah, still doesn't select it. Maybe here. Of course, that's gonna go there. Let me put the breakpoint here instead. Oh, this one up. So, bam. No breakpoint, of course, because I forgot. 10 times the charm. So we get here. Yes, it selects the right card there. So let's do that one more time without breakpoints. So I can switch between the 2 cards. And yeah, I have to figure out how to kind of organize them better, because I say the 2 card, when you only have 2 cards, for example, they should be like in the middle of the container, I guess, rather than forced on the left hand side. But when I select card 2, card 1 automatically becomes selected. And I'm dealing critical damage for X amount of time. And I can activate the card. And bam, I did my duration-based ability, whatever that ends up being. And get some cooldown. Good. All right. So I think I managed to accomplish what I was aiming for. We're able to switch between our cards, we're able to select the card, and we're able to activate the card. Still not the prettiest. Obviously, we're not going for pretty. We're going for functional at the moment. But there's definitely a lot of promise with this. We have to just make our cards interesting. And we have to make combat interesting. Obviously, right now we just have a dummy that throws shit at us. So we'll have to start thinking about our enemy archetypes. How that could work. Twitch is saying I disconnected. Is that the case? I hope not. Is it the same for YouTube? I'm still doing on the YouTube, right? Okay, it looks like I'm back. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you all for watching. It's all, of course, much appreciated. Twitch has some problems. Okay. Well. Oh well, I guess. But yeah, that's where I'm going to end it for today, guys. I appreciate it. For those watching from Twitch, make sure to send me a follow if you want to keep up the project. You can also join our Discord, of course. You know, more the merrier. Get people talking in there. If you are watching from YouTube, make sure to subscribe. It's always much appreciated. We have a few people watching on Twitch, so we could do a raid. So let's go ahead and raid, and we'll do Prismatic. Miss Prismatica Dev. If you're into shaders and all that crazy tech art related topics, I definitely recommend that you stick around and watch him. Make sure to send my regard. Tell him I sent you. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
How's it going? Welcome everyone. We are doing some fun stuff. Water simulation. Running into some